Astronomers say that something terrible is happening to Pluto and no one knows why. Since the discovery of Pluto in 1930, strange things have been happening in our universe. Scientists have been dedicated to learning everything they can about this tiny planet, which is astronomically distant at 4.6 billion miles away. They have observed Pluto's size, its distance from the Sun, and even changes in its brightness. But a new unexpected discovery raises questions about the possibility of life on Pluto. Come with me on another adventure in search of information brought by researchers and scientists from various fields of knowledge. But before we start, leave your like. Consider subscribing to the channel. Join us as we explore how NASA has just detected that Pluto is behaving strangely. This massive object, the 9th largest and 10th most massive object to orbit the Sun directly, has a diameter of approximately 1,400 miles. That's equivalent to the width of the Moon or half the width of the United States. Although slightly less massive than Eris, it is by far the largest trans-Neptunian object in volume currently known. Unlike the inner planets, Pluto is much smaller and is primarily composed of ice and rock like other objects in the Kuiper Belt. It has only 1/3 the volume and 1/6 the mass of Earth's moon. Most of its atmosphere is composed of nitrogen gas. Pluto's orbit is slow because it is 40 times farther from the Sun than Earth. One complete orbit takes 248 Earth years, or 90,560 Earth days. Pluto was discovered by American astronomer Clyde Tombaugh in 1930 at the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona. Until 2006, it was believed to be one of the 9 planets in the Solar System, along with Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. However, the International Astronomical Union downgraded its status and designated it as a dwarf planet because it did not meet the requirements to be classified as a full-sized planet. Although Pluto is no longer considered a planet, it is still a fascinating object in our universe. It is believed to have 5 moons orbiting around it, and its distinctive chain of icy mountains remains an intriguing mystery for scientists. There is still much to discover about Pluto and its role in our ever-evolving universe. According to astronomers, Charon, Varus, Cobras, Kerberos, and Hydra are names that evoke mythical figures in our solar system. Among them, Charon is the closest to Pluto, while Hydra is the farthest. Interestingly, Charon was discovered by chance in 1978 while scientists were studying the orbit of Pluto. James Christie noticed a strange bubble protruding from the side of the planet that returned to the same place every 6.39 days. Thus, it was confirmed that it was not a malfunction of the equipment. To verify the accuracy of the observations, Christie and his team used old photos of Pluto and ended up discovering Charon. The name Charon comes from a ferryman who crossed the Charon River with souls. This river is one of the 5 mythical rivers that surrounded the underworld of Pluto, named in honor of the Roman deity of the underworld, also known as Hades in Greek mythology. Why was this particular boatman chosen to name this imaginary moon? Perhaps because James Christie's wife's name is Charlene, which sounds similar to Charon. Since the discovery of Charon, Pluto and its moons have been studied by astronomers for 45 years. The approach of the New Horizons spacecraft in July 2015 showed us that Charon is its own magnificent world and not just a bubble hanging next to Pluto, as previously thought. The spacecraft flyby is still rewriting almost everything that is known about this smaller planet. Mountains, valleys, glaciers, plains, and craters can be found on its cold globe, where the average temperature is 232 degrees Celsius below zero, or minus 387 degrees Fahrenheit. If we were on the surface, we would see blue skies and red snow. Pluto has a rough spot that stands out from the rest of the small world and the rest of our cosmic neighborhood. According to a new photographic study, researchers have discovered a field of enormous frozen volcanoes that are unlike any other in the solar system. Thus, Pluto and its moons continue to fascinate and surprise scientists and humanity as a whole. The frozen mountains of Pluto are an intriguing mystery. The Kuiper Mons and Right Mons, giant ice mountains, dominate the horizon with their monumental dimensions. Reitman is a colossus that rises between 4 and 5 kilometers above the surface, stretching 150 kilometers wide. Kuiper Mons, although smaller in height, spans an impressive 225 kilometers in width. In fact, they are so immense that they sometimes merge to form even larger mountains. Ice volcanoes are not exclusive to Pluto. Other regions of our solar system also host these unique phenomena. Although they appear to be ordinary mountains, these frozen monsters lack impact craters on the top and are covered in significant bumps. Unlike Mount Aloha, Earth's largest volcano, which is formed from hot lava eruptions, ice volcanoes on Pluto arise when subterranean water is expelled to the surface, instantly freezing upon contact with sub-zero temperatures. Surprisingly, the lack of impact craters indicates that these volcanoes have been active recently, a finding that challenges previous theories about the geological age of Pluto. Pluto's rocky core does not provide the necessary heating to promote volcanism, but the research team found that Pluto's interior contains more residual heat than predicted. This suggests that Pluto has geological processes that are not yet fully understood. Ice volcanoes probably erupted on several occasions in the last 100 million to 200 million years, making them much more recent than previously thought. It is intriguing to think that, despite Pluto's frozen surface, there may be liquid water or something similar moving beneath the surface, similar to the magma that flows under Earth. As Pluto continues to challenge us with its complexity, it is exciting to consider what more we can learn about this icy wonder of our solar system. It may seem surreal, but an ice volcanic eruption has just occurred on Pluto, through a volcanic opening on its surface. The frozen substance that emerged was more akin to a slushy mix of ice and water, or even frozen toothpaste. Pluto's surface is so frigid that liquid water cannot exist for long. To better understand the phenomenon, it's possible to think of the volcanoes on the Hawaiian Islands, rather than Earth's volcanoes like Mount St. Helens or Vesuvius. Shield volcanoes, in particular, emerge from extremely liquid lava. The caldera, which is the depression at the center of some volcanoes on Earth and other planets, is formed when a newly erupted volcano collapses into the space left by all the expelled debris. Although Mauna Loa in Hawaii is one of the largest volcanoes on the planet, its caldera is relatively modest. In contrast, the depression on the right Mons of Pluto is so deep that the volcano would have to lose nearly half its volume to have a similar shape. Although the team aboard the New Horizons was only able to see this region for one day, they were unable to observe any active ice volcanoes during the flyby. However, it's possible that ice volcanoes may still be erupting. They may resemble Earth's volcanoes that lie dormant for a while before becoming active again. The existence of ice volcanoes on Pluto may indicate that the planet once had a subsurface ocean. If this assumption is confirmed, liquid water may be present near the surface of the planet. The results also suggest that Pluto's interior is warmer than previously thought, raising intriguing questions about the nature of the planet. Although life on Pluto still faces several difficulties, it's possible that it may exist. However, any organism that seeks to thrive there will need a consistent source of nutrients. This may be difficult for species if volcanism is episodic and the availability of heat and water fluctuates. To explore the fascinating subsurface of Pluto, launching an orbiter to the distant planet would be necessary. Additionally, ice-penetrating radar could be used to directly spy into Pluto. With a future trip, it would even be possible to see what the volcanic plumbing looks like.